Semantic Profile. Making profiles of entities based on a set of semantic scales and comparing those profiles. What it does. Semantic profile is a method based on Osgood's semantic differential, used in social sciences that measures people's attitudes about products, services, experiences, concepts, and similar entities. The method uses a set of semantic scales for measurement defined by two opposite adjectives, such as simple and complicated, weak and strong, or important and not important. The entities, such as products, are scored on a set of such scales, and each entity gets its own profile based on its scores. These profiles are then compared, and patterns of clusters and gaps are analyzed for insights and opportunities for innovation. Most frequently, research participants are asked to score their attitudes on scales. Sometimes, design teams do the scoring based on their user perspectives. Frequently, semantic profiles are used to compare how different user groups think and feel about entities. For example, attitudes of young and old people toward mobile devices. How it works. Step 1. Select entities to compare. The most commonly used entities are products, services, activities, brands, and user groups. Limit the list to 10 most relevant entities for easy comparison. Step 2. Define key attribute scales. Determine the most relevant attributes that are likely to comprehensively define the profile of entities selected. Less than 10 attribute scales is usual. Step 3. Create a semantic profile diagram. Set up attribute scales with adjective pairs as end labels, for example, cheap and expensive. Set up the scales in random order to avoid implied priority. Reverse the polarity of scales to randomness. Avoid preordering or aligning of negative and opposite levels. Step 4. Create entity profiles. Score each entity by placing markers on the semantic scales. Connect the markers vertically to form a zigzag line profile for each entity. Use color coding to visually differentiate the profiles. Step 5. Analyze patterns. Compare entity profiles and recognize if there are similar ones forming clusters. Are there profiles that are diametrically opposite to each other in terms of their scores on the scales? Are there gaps between groups of profiles? What does this pattern mean? Reorder the polarity of the scales so that the end labels are aligned based on negative and positive meanings, if relevant. In this diagram, if profiles lean toward one side of the scales, what does that mean? Look for insights. Step 6. Capture insight and share them. Document all the insights gained for the analysis and show them next to their respective places on the semantic profile diagram for easy readability and sharing among team members. Finally, discuss patterns and insights. Attribute scale 1, attribute scale 2, attribute scale 3, attribute scale 4, and attribute scale 5. Entity A, entity B, entity C, and entity D. For attribute scales, you can use price, proximity, consistency, character, offering, quality, experience, added services. And in entities, you can use neighborhood, specialty seeker, happenstance, and disparate shopper. From important to non-important.